The human mind, when mastered, can transform every desire into wealth, power, success, and happiness. Napoleon Hill.
Have you ever stopped to think that maybe what's stopping you not be a lack of effort, luck, or opportunity, but rather the way you think? It sounds harsh to hear, but what if I told you that the biggest prison of your life could be inside your own mind, disguised as realism, logic, or even common sense? The truth is that while many people run after motivation, money, and recognition, few realize that the key to success, abundance, and personal fulfillment lies in what Napoleon Hill called the invisible force of thought. There are people who wake up every day with the potential to transform the world, but they live stuck in limiting beliefs that have been placed there since childhood. You live repeating patterns, sabotaging plans, sinking into negative thoughts, and thinking that's all life is. But it's not. And the most impressive? You can reverse this. It can build a new mindset. You can use the power of the mind, mental reprogramming, and positive thinking to get out of stagnation and start manifesting what you've always dreamed of, with clarity, with purpose, and with courage. Now, I know this sounds too good to be true, but I also know that you feel deep down that there is something inside you screaming for change. And that's precisely why this video exists, to show you step by step how to build a healthy, rich, disciplined, and unshakable mindset, based on the teachings of Napoleon Hill and the most powerful tools of personal development. Get ready for a deep dive, because what you will discover here, few people have the courage to teach. Oh, and before we dive into this transformative content, subscribe to the channel here. This is essential for the growth of the channel, and so you don't miss the next videos that could become the key to your life. Now yes, let's move on to your transformation. Most people don't realize it, but everything they experience is a direct reflection of what they believe to be true. The reality you see and live is born from your mindset. Napoleon Hill once said that what the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can accomplish. And that's where the power of the mind comes in. When someone truly believes that they can become rich, grow, evolve, develop personally and professionally, the universe begins to move in their favor. It's as if the world conspires to make the right doors open. But it all starts with an internal decision. The decision to change your outlook and embrace positive thinking as a lifestyle. This mental construction does not happen by chance. She is cultivated like someone who plants and takes care of a garden. If someone lives with limiting beliefs such as "I'm not good enough" or "this isn't for me," they are watering weeds in their mind. Thoughts like "I can learn this" or "I can improve every day" are like seeds of abundance and personal growth. And when these ideas begin to emerge, the person begins to act with more motivation, courage, and clarity. Everything that seemed impossible starts to become achievable. This is not magic, it is mental reprogramming based on conscious action and self-awareness. The problem is that many people confuse effort with direction. The person works hard, runs all the time, but doesn't move because deep down, they believe that success is for others. You are stuck in a scarcity mentality. Believes that wealth is the privilege of a few. And that's where the danger lies. Negative thinking, even silent thinking, sabotages. This is why so many people struggle their entire lives without achieving abundance, because the root of the belief is contaminated. And as Napoleon Hill said, you attract what you think about most, consciously or unconsciously. It's all in your mind. Instead of blaming the government, the crisis, the past, or even luck, it is more powerful to take internal control. It takes courage, it takes discipline, it takes constant self-improvement. But the reward, the reward is enormous. You start to become an opportunity magnet. You begin to see solutions where before you only saw problems. This is success mindset in action. It's getting out of automatic mode and starting to manifest, with intention and clarity, a new life. And the best part, anyone can do this. Yes, anyone. Just learn how to reprogram your own thinking. A good starting point is to observe how you talk to yourself. What phrases do you repeat? "I never can." "This is too hard." These are mental commands. They are shaping your reality right now. Replacing them with constructive affirmations is a vital step in the manifestation process. Try saying, "I am ready to thrive. I am constantly growing. I am capable of achieving my dreams." Say it every day. Believe. Repetition creates a new pattern. And this pattern reprograms the subconscious to accept success as something natural. From the moment it is understood that it is possible to shape reality from the mind, something changes. A spark ignites. Clarity begins to emerge. It is at this point that many discover that they were not failing due to a lack of talent, but rather because of thoughts that block their potential. Therefore, it is vital to delve into this knowledge and develop a new mindset. And you will understand this even more deeply when you understand the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. In fact, have you ever stopped to think about how this affects the way you deal with your own mistakes? Oh, before continuing, if you are enjoying this content and want to continue learning how to transform your mind, your life, and your destiny, subscribe to the channel now. This is super important so that the channel continues to grow and so you don't miss any videos that could change your life. Beauty? Now let's continue. One of the biggest barriers to personal growth is a fixed mindset. She acts silently, halting progress, as if saying all the time, "You were born this way, there's no point in trying to change." People with this view believe that their abilities are immutable. And with that, they avoid challenges, avoid criticism, and don't take risks. They live in a comfort zone disguised as security. This prevents them from manifesting abundance, wealth, success, all because of a sabotaging internal system, built by limiting beliefs and fear of making mistakes. It is the opposite of what Napoleon Hill called mastery of one's own mind. Now, when someone adopts a growth mindset, everything changes. This person sees mistakes as an essential part of the process. Thomas Edison, for example, before creating the light bulb, failed more than 10,000 times. And when asked how he felt about so many failures, he replied, "I didn't fail, I just discovered 10,000 ways that don't work." This is self-discipline, it is self-improvement, it is seeing the challenge as fuel. And this is what separates those who get rich from those who remain stagnant. Because developing is a process, not a fixed destination. The difference between these two mindsets defines whether you will evolve or remain stuck. Imagine a person who believes they are terrible with numbers. If she has a fixed mindset, she will avoid finances, investments, professional growth. But with the right mindset, she can seek knowledge, learn about financial education, study authors like Gustavo Cervesi, Tiago Negro, or even classic books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Little by little, she reprograms her mind and turns the tables. And it all starts with a simple change of perspective about yourself. Another clear example, people who are afraid of speaking in public. If they believe they were born this way, they will run away from it forever. But if they see the situation as a skill to be developed, they can train, expose themselves little by little, take courses such as public speaking or theater. This is the essence of personal development, facing what holds you back until it no longer holds you back. Fear becomes a bridge. The mistake becomes a lesson. And with each new step comes the confidence that manifesting one's own evolution is possible and real. The power of the mind is exactly that, choosing to grow despite discomfort. Many people sabotage themselves because they learned from an early age that to make mistakes is to fail. But this is a limiting belief. No one learns to walk without falling. No one gets rich without making difficult decisions. No one transforms without facing their own blocks. Reprogramming the mind starts with recognizing these patterns and challenging them. From there, growth becomes exponential. And the most beautiful? This growth spreads. It touches the professional, spiritual, emotional, and financial areas. Everything connects when the internal basis changes. This is the path of true manifestation. Adopting a growth mindset isn't just about motivation. It's about creating a new mental model where challenges don't scare, but arouse curiosity. Where error does not paralyze, but pushes forward. It is at this point that life begins to respond differently. Because, as Napoleon Hill said, the limits of the mind are the limits of life. And to overcome them, it takes more than willpower. It takes self-awareness. In fact, that's exactly what we're going to talk about now. Self-awareness is the starting point for any profound transformation process. It's like turning on a light inside your mind and finally seeing what was previously in the dark. When someone develops this skill, they begin to clearly perceive their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This is mind power in practice. Napoleon Hill already said that self-knowledge is the key to controlling one's impulses and achieving success. Without this internal look, it is impossible to break away from limiting beliefs that sabotage your dreams. And yes, everyone has some. What differentiates those who grow is the willingness to identify and give new meaning to them. Self-aware people know when they are being driven by fear, guilt, or insecurity. And when they recognize this, they can choose another path. Instead of reacting impulsively, they stop, observe, and decide. This is emotional maturity. This is active mental reprogramming. A great exercise is to start an emotions journal. Write down every day what you felt, why you felt it, and how you reacted. This simple practice puts you in a state of presence and develops a success mindset where you become the pilot of your life, not just a passenger. Meditation is also one of the most powerful tools in this process. And it doesn't have to be something mystical or complicated. 5 minutes a day of conscious breathing already makes a difference. Sit down, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and just notice your thoughts. Without judging, without trying to change anything. Just watch. Gradually, the mind quiets, and you begin to notice repetitive thought patterns, many of them negative. This is the first step to transforming them into positive thoughts, more aligned with your purpose and manifestation. Another powerful feature is feedback. But be careful, not just any criticism will do. It is important to seek constructive feedback from people who truly want your personal and professional growth. This accelerates your self-awareness because it shows you blind spots, those attitudes that you don't notice, but that impact your results. Imagine someone who always sabotages themselves in job interviews and doesn't understand why. Good feedback can reveal that a tone of voice, posture, or even an expression of doubt is being interpreted as a lack of confidence. And with that comes the chance to change. Self-awareness is also about observing your choices. Why do you repeat certain patterns? Why does it always attract the same type of relationship, problem, scarcity? This often comes from unconscious mental programming created in childhood. When you become aware of this, you can use daily affirmations to create new neural connections. Phrases like, "I am worthy of thriving," or "I deserve abundance in all areas of my life," work like a new code. And over time, this code becomes reality. Not by chance, but by awareness and consistency. Being self-aware doesn't mean judging yourself all the time. It means having compassion for yourself, but also responsibility. It's saying, I know what I'm feeling and I choose not to act automatically. And that choice changes everything. It opens up space for new possibilities, new attitudes, new achievements. But to deal with all this well, we need to learn to deal with emotions, especially those that tend to dominate us. And that's exactly what we need to talk about now. Mastering emotions is one of the greatest superpowers anyone can have. And the most surprising thing? Everyone can develop this. Emotional regulation is not about repressing feelings, but knowing how to deal with them intelligently. It's what differentiates someone who sinks into a problem from someone who uses that problem as an impetus to grow. Whoever develops this skill achieves not only internal balance, but also a huge advance in personal and professional development. Napoleon Hill made this very clear. He who does not control his emotions will always be controlled by circumstances. Imagine a person who receives criticism at work. With little emotional intelligence, she reacts immediately, closes herself off, feeds negative thoughts, and stops her growth. An emotionally intelligent person will take a deep breath, evaluate the criticism, reflect, and decide how to react. That small space between stimulus and response is where the power of the mind lives. And that's where resilience is built, the ability to continue even when everything seems to conspire against you. Without this, there is no manifestation, there is no wealth, there is no success mindset. Resilience is not about enduring everything in silence, but about processing emotions wisely. An excellent practice for this is writing again. But now, in times of turmoil, take a piece of paper and write it down. What am I feeling? What does this remind me of? What is the origin of this emotion? This emotional investigation helps you get to know yourself better and prevents you from reacting in a destructive way. Instead of wallowing in anxiety or anger, you build a bridge to positive thinking, to inner peace, to self-improvement. And that is pure gold. It is worth remembering that regulating emotions is not about suppressing pain. Quite the opposite. It is to welcome it and transform it. Repressing feelings is like putting dirt under the rug. Eventually it explodes. Those who allow themselves to feel and then process transform pain into wisdom. A great example is when someone faces loss or frustration. Instead of pretending that everything is fine, she acknowledges how she feels but chooses to move on. And that's not weakness. This is emotional strength. This is where the true motivation to continue is born. That's where you become bigger than your challenges. Another powerful tool for emotional regulation is movement. Yes, the body helps heal the mind. A walk in the park, physical exercise, dancing, yoga. All of this helps release emotional tension. This strengthens the mind, increases clarity, and brings you closer to a state of abundance. After all, how can you manifest something great if you are trapped in dense, accumulated emotions? Releasing what no longer serves is as important as building something new. And this is one of the pillars of personal growth, learning to let go, to clear the energetic and emotional field. And if there is a silent secret of those who thrive with consistency, that secret is learning to feel without drowning, learning to fall without losing faith. This is resilience, and she is trainable like a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you get. And the stronger you become, the more prepared you are to face any situation without abandoning your goals. In fact, by maintaining this emotional balance, you begin to notice that even your thought patterns change. And that takes us straight to a crucial point: how to turn your own thoughts into real allies. Oh, before you continue, if you haven't liked this video and subscribed to the channel, take advantage now and do it quickly. This way you support this content and guarantee that you won't miss any videos about manifestation, personal growth, wealth, and everything that can change your life. Do you want to continue? Positive thinking is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about deciding what you're going to focus your energy on. And that makes all the difference. A person can look at the same situation and see an insurmountable problem or an opportunity for growth. The difference? The mental filter, the thought pattern. And that, my friend, is trained. Napoleon Hill said it clearly. You are the master of your destiny because you are the master of your mind. If you want to transform your reality, you need to start with what you feed daily in your thoughts. One of people's biggest mistakes is thinking that their thoughts are absolute truths. But in reality, many of them are learned, repeated, reinforced for years, until they become limiting beliefs. And that's why so many people live with autopilot on, without questioning anything. The good news is that you can change this. You can reprogram it. A great way to do this is to replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations. For example, replace "I can't" with "I'm learning." Swap "this is impossible" for "I'm finding a way." Small changes generate big transformations. Another transformative habit is practicing gratitude. Yes, it sounds simple, but it is powerful. Gratitude is one of the most effective tools for shifting your focus from scarcity to abundance. And you can start today. Take a notebook and write down 3 things you are grateful for every morning. It could be something simple like your health, a good night's sleep, or a hot coffee. Over time, the brain begins to get used to focusing on what works, what is working. This strengthens positive thinking and puts you in a vibration aligned with manifesting your desires. Of course, no one is free from bad thoughts. They will emerge. The difference is what you do when they appear. Instead of letting yourself be dominated, you can choose to observe and redirect. An interesting technique is the replacement thinking. It works like this: when a negative thought arises, you stop and say out loud or in your mind, "Cancel, cancel, cancel," and immediately replace it with a powerful affirmation. For example, "I am capable. I am worthy. I am growing." With practice, this becomes a natural reflex of the mind. And this is reprogramming in action. It's also worth looking carefully at the content you consume. What do you watch, listen to, read? Are you feeding your mind with personal growth, motivation, professional development? Or is it reinforcing scarcity, fear, insecurity? Books like Who Thinks Gets Rich by Napoleon Hill or The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle are great starting points for anyone looking to elevate their mindset. Podcasts from people who talk about self-help and the success mindset also help. Your brain is like a sponge. It absorbs everything. The choice of what to put inside it is yours. Little by little, with these new habits, you begin to notice something different. Your energy changes. Your vision changes. You start to attract new people, opportunities, and ideas. And the most interesting thing, you start to feel lighter, more confident, more aligned with what you want to manifest. It's as if the mind, body, and reality are finally talking on the same frequency. And when that happens, you're ready to take the next step. Clearly define what you want and set goals that really take you there. Having dreams is wonderful, but dreams without direction are like boats adrift. Clear goals are what transform desire into achievement. And we're not just talking about writing down vague goals like get rich or be successful. We are talking about goals that have a soul, purpose, date, and action plan. Napoleon Hill got right to the point. Set a definite goal and pursue it with all your energy. Without clarity, there is no manifestation. Without a goal, there is no personal growth. The mind needs a target to activate its true creative power. But many people get stuck because of procrastination or perfectionism. They wait for the right moment, or feel overwhelmed by the immensity of what they want to achieve. The secret is to break the goal into smaller parts. Do you want to start a new business? Start researching ideas, then study the market, then put together a simple plan. Do you want to develop professionally? Establish a reading routine, sign up for a course, connect with mentors. Small, consistent actions are what really move the mountain. This is what fuels self-discipline. A practical tool for organizing these goals is the SMART method: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound goals. For example, instead of saying, "I want to get rich," say, "I want to earn 10,000 Brazilian reals in 12 months by saving 850 Brazilian reals per month." Did you see how it changes? The mind understands clearly, and the chance of achieving it increases exponentially. Furthermore, when you set realistic goals, you avoid the frustration that generates negative thoughts and self-sabotage. This reinforces mental reprogramming based on confidence and real progress. Celebrating small victories is a habit that few people practice, but it makes a huge difference. Every step you take, no matter how small it may seem, is living proof that you are moving. And when you recognize this, you strengthen your success mindset. Motivation grows, self-esteem strengthens, and your manifestation energy expands. After all, the universe responds to the vibration of action. So celebrate. The first video posted, the first client acquired, the first book finished. This is all part of your self-improvement journey. Another essential point: review your goals regularly. Life changes, your priorities change, and you change too. It is important to adjust the route without losing direction. This keeps you present, focused, and adaptable. A person who knows where they want to go, even if the path changes, never feels lost. This increases your resilience, your motivation, and your ability to manifest with purpose. And when everything seems out of control, go back to the basics. Why did I start? What do I want to build? This reflection rekindles the inner fire and reconnects you with your purpose. And a beautiful thing happens when your goals are aligned with your true self. The journey becomes light, fluid, full of meaning. It's not just about achieving, but about who you become in the process. And that's when gratitude begins to blossom naturally, completely changing your relationship with time, with progress, with life. In fact, this connection with gratitude is what sustains your entire journey towards abundance. Let's talk about this now. Gratitude is one of the most underrated practices for personal growth, and at the same time, one of the most transformative. It changes your frequency, your energy, your vibration. When you give thanks, even without having everything you want yet, you send a clear signal to the universe. I am already in tune with abundance. And the universe responds. Napoleon Hill once said, "Gratitude opens the door to positive thinking and achievement." And it's not about faking joy. It's about recognizing what's already working, even in the midst of chaos. Every day when you wake up, write down 3 things you are grateful for. It doesn't matter the size. It can be the warm bed, the breakfast, the breathing. This trains your mind to focus on what you have, rather than what you lack. And that focus changes everything. When you live in a state of scarcity, your mindset screams, lack, lack, lack. And guess what you manifest? More scarcity. Now, when you live in gratitude, you say, I already have, and I receive more with joy. This is mind power. This is real mental reprogramming. Optimism is the brother of gratitude. But be careful. It is not being blind to problems. It means being determined not to live as a slave to them. It's saying, this is difficult, but I will find a way. Optimism is the courage to believe in the invisible. It is persistence disguised as hope. And when this combines with gratitude, something magical happens. You begin to see solutions where before you only saw blockages. Start opening up to new paths, new ideas, new people. Life begins to respond with generosity. Because you are vibrating wealth, abundance, and a successful mindset. And if gratitude is a habit, optimism is a thinking style that can also be trained. A simple exercise is every night to write, what was the best thing that happened today? It could be something that made you laugh, a problem solved, or even a new idea. This exercise activates the brain's reward system and strengthens positive thinking. Little by little, you begin to see your life with more clarity, more lightness, more purpose. And this directly impacts your personal, emotional, spiritual, and even professional development. Another powerful tip: turn difficult moments into a source of gratitude. Ask yourself, what is this challenge teaching me? Or how can this make me stronger? This simple change of question turns pain into learning. And this is the basis of resilience. The person who can give thanks even in the middle of a hurricane is the one who expresses it the fastest. Because she doesn't resist the process, she flows with it. And this flow creates space for abundance, growth, conscious manifestation, and inner enrichment. The grateful mind attracts more than it desires, because it is already in tune with what it dreams of. And the optimistic mind does not bow down to challenges, it turns each one of them into fuel. This powerful combination puts you in a state of readiness. Ready to receive, ready to act, ready to grow. And when you are in this state, you become even more sensitive to external influences. And that's why, from here, we need to talk about the direct impact that your environment has on your mindset. Have you ever noticed how you feel after talking to someone negative? It's like the energy drains. Now think about the opposite. When you talk to someone who is enthusiastic, who talks about growth, about possibilities, it seems like your spirit lights up, doesn't it? This happens because the environment plays a direct role in shaping your mindset. Napoleon Hill already taught that we are deeply influenced by the people and ideas we live with. And if you truly want to manifest abundance, become rich, reprogram your mind, and achieve personal growth, you need to take care of your surroundings wisely. The people around you shape your thoughts, without you even realizing it. If you live surrounded by people who complain all the time, criticize, and have a scarcity mentality, you absorb this pattern as if it were your own. Therefore, it is essential to carry out a kind of energy cleaning in your connections. It's not about abandoning everyone, but about selecting who you share your dreams with. Be close to those who inspire you, those who pull you up. Follow mentors, read success mindset books, listen to podcasts that encourage you to grow. This is practical, living daily self-help. In addition to people, the content you consume is part of your mental environment. What enters your eyes and ears goes directly to your subconscious. And the subconscious doesn't filter, it just records. So stop and ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind with? Gossip reels? News that scares me? Or am I watching videos like this that expand my awareness, my motivation, my personal development? The choice is yours. And that choice shapes your reality every day, silently. A good exercise is to audit your environment. Take a notebook and write down, who are the 5 people who most influence my thoughts? Which profiles do I follow on social media? What type of content do I watch every day? If most of this doesn't drive you, it's time to make changes. Create a positive mental diet. Choose books like The Power of the Subconscious by Joseph Murphy or Smarter Than the Devil by Napoleon Hill himself. Watch content that talks about manifestation, affirmations, mental reprogramming, and self-improvement. This repositions you mentally and energetically. Also remember that the physical environment counts a lot. A messy room creates mental confusion. A clean, organized, and beautiful space conveys clarity. You don't need luxury, you need awareness. Create a reading corner, light a scented candle, put on some soft music. These small attitudes create an internal climate of growth. When your space vibrates with positivity, your mind begins to align with that frequency. And this directly impacts your productivity, creativity, and your ability to demonstrate. And speaking of impact, there's an area that's often overlooked, but that profoundly affects your energy, your focus, and even your motivation. The way you balance your personal and professional life. Working too much without rest or living in leisure without purpose, both extremes harm your growth. And that's exactly what we're going to delve into now. Living in imbalance is one of the biggest causes of stagnation disguised as productivity. Many people believe that working nonstop is synonymous with success, when in fact, this can be a poison disguised as a virtue. Overwork exhausts the body, robs you of mental clarity, and disconnects you from your purpose. On the other hand, living only for leisure also paralyzes because without action, there is no fulfillment. Napoleon Hill talked a lot about the importance of rhythm, and this rhythm needs to be healthy. After all, there's no point manifesting wealth if you're emotionally exhausted. When personal and professional life are in harmony, everything flows better. The mind works with more focus, the body responds with more energy, and decisions are made wisely. This strengthens self-discipline, reinforces personal development, and avoids that feeling of running in place. A good example? Establish time limits for work, even if you are self-employed. Create untouchable moments for family, for rest, for silence. Because it is in silence that many ideas reveal themselves, and that is where manifestation becomes possible. A balanced routine also requires healthy habits. This includes quality sleep, a nutrient-rich diet, regular physical activity, and mindful leisure time. These pillars form a solid foundation for professional and spiritual growth. When you take care of your body, your mind responds better. When you take care of your mind, the world responds better to you. This is mental reprogramming applied in everyday life. It's about building a lifestyle that supports your vision of success with lightness, constancy, and enthusiasm. And here comes an important point. Rest time is sacred. It's not a waste of time, it's an investment in clarity. If you are always tired, irritated, distracted, your ability to think with focus and positivity decreases. And how to manifest something great in this state? Set aside moments in your week to do absolutely nothing. Yes, nothing. Disconnect. Breathe. Be present. This is not luxury. This is smart self-care. This is you telling the universe, I respect myself. I value myself. And when you treat yourself with value, the universe begins to treat you the same way. Another powerful tip is to review your calendar with intention. Often what's missing isn't time, it's priority. Look at your days and ask, does what I'm doing bring me closer or further away from the life I want to create? If the answer is away, it may be time to adjust the rudder. The mind thrives where there is alignment. And this alignment comes when you live with purpose, not just with tasks. This strengthens your success mindset and brings you closer to a routine where productivity goes hand in hand with well-being. When you find this balance, something powerful happens. You become lighter, more creative, more connected with life. And it is in this state of presence that true self-improvement happens. Because then you are no longer reacting to the world. You are creating, evolving, becoming the best version of yourself. And this growth process has no end. In fact, it only deepens, as we will see now when talking about continuous self-improvement. Continuous self-improvement is the silent secret behind every great transformation. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about waking up every day with the decision to become a little better than you were yesterday. Napoleon Hill reinforces this idea in each of his works. Success is an internal process before becoming external. The journey never ends, because there is always something to be learned, improved, developed. That's the beauty of personal growth, it has no limits. And the further you go, the more you realize that the path is the true prize. A healthy mindset understands that mistakes are teachers, and that each obstacle is an opportunity for expansion. Self-help isn't just about pretty phrases, it's about action. And this action needs to be guided by reflection. Take moments each week to ask yourself, what have I learned in the last few days? Or how can I respond better next time? These simple questions put you in growth mode. This strengthens your emotional intelligence, your mental clarity, and connects you with a more mature, lighter, and more aware version of yourself. One of the pillars of self-improvement is constant learning. This doesn't mean studying all the time, but keeping an open mind. Read a good book from time to time, like Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, or rewatching a lecture that left an impression on you, are ways to keep your mind active and receptive. It's also worth participating in groups, events, mentoring, or even watching videos like this, which expand awareness. The right knowledge at the right time can become the key to your life. And when that happens, it's as if the entire world reorganizes itself around you. But it's not enough to learn. It needs to be applied. Knowledge without practice is like a seed kept in a drawer. It will never blossom. Choose one teaching per week and apply it. It could be a new gratitude routine, a 7-day affirmation challenge, or even starting to write down your own thoughts every night. These small attitudes have a profound impact on your mindset. They build the foundation of your new reality. And when practiced consistently, they accelerate the manifestation of your deepest desires. Another essential element is adaptability. Life changes, and you need to change with it. Those who cling too much to the past or to old formulas become rigid. And rigidity is the enemy of abundance. Those who are always observing themselves, adjusting, growing from within, remain in flux. And it is this flow that generates lightness, creativity, courage, new beginnings. Continuous self-improvement is like a river that carves its own path until it meets the sea. He doesn't stop, he doesn't resist, he doesn't deny the obstacles, he adapts, he flows, he moves forward. And if you've come this far on this journey, you've already taken a big step. Now you know that shaping your reality begins with the mind, strengthens with discipline, flourishes with gratitude, sustains in balance, and grows with constant improvement. But now, how can you unite all of this into a powerful thought structure that accompanies you at all stages of life? Well, that starts with understanding how to actually build a healthy mindset, according to Napoleon Hill. Have you noticed how everything starts in the mind? From how you see yourself to the opportunities you attract, everything is shaped by your mindset. And now that you have this knowledge in your hands, the question that remains is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to let this information become just another video you watched? Or are you going to turn this into a real turning point in your life? Look, most people hear these truths and automatically go back to it. But you didn't get here by chance. If something has awakened inside, follow that spark. Start with small changes. Set clear goals, practice gratitude, filter your environment, review your thoughts, focus on your personal development consistently. Don't wait to be ready. Readiness comes from movement. You don't need more time. You need more attitude. Allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to express what is rightfully yours. You were born to prosper. The question is, will you continue to sabotage yourself, or will you take control of your mind from now on? And tell me in the comments, what was the part of this content that impacted you the most? What change will you put into practice today? I want to know, because those who commit publicly activate a higher level of responsibility and focus. Oh, and of course, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, because this is just the beginning. With each new video, you will further deepen your success mindset, your mental reprogramming, and your ability to manifest a new life. I'll wait for you next time. Do you see the video that is now appearing on your screen? He didn't appear to you by chance. Click and see, as it can also help you a lot.